Many are very familiar with Frasers Centrepoint Trust Suburban Mall in Singapore, where we shop and eat, so I will not elaborate on how good their assets are. In September 2020, it makes a very ambitious investment that doubles their value of investment property just a few months during COVID. So far, its DPU has been flat. It decreased a bit for 2020. What should investors be looking out for? Let me explain in this video. Before we continue, a quick reminder. Here I will explain the various components of how they are related to each other. The increase in investment property is financed by borrowing and equity financing. The quality of the assets will determine the gross revenue and net property income and its long-term growth. How much they borrow and the cost of that determines the financial cost. Borrowings affect the gearing, in financial cost affects interest cover. Another major cost component is the manager fees, which is a percentage of the asset's value and MPI. Equity financing means more unit issue. Together, they affect the distributable income and DPI. Now, let's examine each component to understand Frasers Centrepoint Trust better. We start with their investment property. As mentioned earlier, in September 2020 during COVID, they made a huge investment by acquiring the remaining 63% of Asia Retail Fund from their sponsor. 5 malls and an office property were added to the portfolio. Meanwhile, they divested 3 malls during the financial year. The acquisition was made when the rates were declining and at about 2.4%. The rate remained low for almost 2 years before they shot up quickly to a high of 3.8%. Their potential may not be fully realized yet. You were affected by COVID, but so far so good. Gross revenue and MPI yield are improving post-COVID. As mentioned, the cost of debt shot up quickly. Borrowing has increased significantly, especially after the acquisition. Together with the cost of debt, financial costs are increasing quite significantly. This is having a major impact on the distributable income and DPI. The impact of the borrowing and financial costs can be seen from the metrics. The gearing is 36%. They divested Changi Point City and a stake in a Malaysian REIT, else their gearing will be much higher. Interest cover is at a new low of 3.47. Their earnings are not covering its interest expense as they used to be. Managers' fees are a percentage of the asset's value and net property income. Because of the acquisition, managers' fees has been increasing quite significantly. It is taking a larger chunk of the gross revenue. It was 7+% for many years and has risen to 9+% of gross revenue in recent years. The managers is actually benefiting much more than unit holders. Frasers Centrepoint Trust also did equity fundraising. The number of units increased by 176% since 2008. I hope you have a better understanding of the various interacting components now and why DPU has been flat. It's not about having lots of good assets, but how the entire REIT is managed. A few things to note. How will gross revenue continue to grow well post-COVID and in current situation? How will its MPI yield improve? How are their gearings and interest cover be improving since they are at record levels? Everyone is looking at the cost of debt. What if it does not decline as we expected but maintain or worse increases? How will they reduce their borrowings to reduce their financial costs? An important question for Frasers Centrepoint Trust is, can the growth in gross revenue and DPI yield outpace its financial costs to sustain and grow its DPU? Population and income growth will be its long-term tailwinds. They have many of the most crowded malls in Singapore. So, what can they do to improve their situation? This is the test of the manager and the REITs that we have to observe. Share price is at 2.05. Dividend yield is 5.93% based on FY 2023. NAV per unit is 232. The 3+ year downward sloping line in red has been acting as a strong resistance. Notice the number of times the share price were trying to break through but failed. First support is at 194. Second support is at 170. This is the March 2020 COVID low. That's all I have today. Hope you find it useful. Do remember to like, subscribe and share your perspective. If you like such stocks analysis, you may want to check out other stocks I covered in this channel. Thank you.